Let's take a look at Intel's Core i7-4790 and i7-6700K. It's a newer 6700K is the newer Skylake processor and is also overclockable, and the suffix K, as most of you may be knowing, the suffix K denotes that it's an officially overclockable part. The 4790 is an older Haswell processor that was launched about a little over a year ago. Uh, Haswell was actually launched 2 years ago, but 4790 was a improved clock frequency. We should also see some 6700, which is right now at the top of the line. It should improve to slightly something like 67XXK in a year or less, with a higher clock frequency. But we will keep our fingers crossed about that. We're not talking about that right now. The first, of course, the performance improvement, given the same clock frequency of these two are same, is from the processor architecture improvement, and also the manufacturing technology improvement from 22 nanometer to 14 nanometer, as Intel has should be able to pack in more transistor and derive the performance improvement from there. Both of them are similar in terms of the cache memory, 8 MB. Both of them have 8 memory, and they are quad core processors, and both of them support hyper-threading, so that's not going to make any difference of performance. The main difference comes here, of course, in addition to the processor architecture improvement, is the base clock frequency. There is a speed bump of 400 megahertz in Skylake's i7-6700K and 200 megahertz in the max turbo clock frequency. In the turbo clock frequency, as most of you may be knowing, that it increases the base clock frequency based upon the demand. The TBD rating gets up a little bit to 91 watt, and that is primarily because it's a overclockable part, so it needs to make some headroom for to allow overclocking and over voltage. So before we go to the benchmark score, let's take a look at a couple of more differences. One of them is the support for DDR4 frequency in Skylake, and even though it does not improve any performance as of now, it works at lower 1.2 volt versus 1.5 volt, and so DDR4 should take lower power. Not very significant for desktop things, but you will see it in the notebook processor. Those power savings count. In terms of integrated graphics, we get slightly better HD graphics 530 versus HD graphics 4600. So other than that, these two are similar. We do have some improvement in front of graphics support. It looks like we have Skylake has slightly higher support for max resolution that it can support for the display. It's good for 4K display and things like that. So let's take a look at the benchmark score. At the end of the day, we all of us want to know what that number is. So 4790 has a benchmark score of 10,042, and 6700K has a benchmark score of 10,891. Now this benchmark, I will say, slightly favors the single threaded performance, and there are other benchmark that has shown slightly more advantage for i7-6700K, but this is a ballpark number. You can expect that to be at least 5%, at least about 8 to 10% faster for i7-6700K, but that also is not very significant considering it's a year-old processor, and it's still able to stand up against the overclockable top of the line launch. You will have to check its prices, $350 versus $312. I believe that the current price of the Haswell older Haswell has gone down with the launch, and Intel has not updated that yet, but you should see it on Amazon or Newegg. Thanks for taking a look.